Prayer is one of the most vital aspects of a believer's life. There are some basic mistakes that we make in the place of prayers or the aspect of our lives. When you misunderstand the concept of prayers, you cannot pray effectively. One of the reasons why we find it very difficult to commune with God in the place of prayers is because of lack of understanding about the concept of what prayer really means. Now, a question was asked in our local church: do ECWA really pray? You know, when you ask people about prayers, the first thing that comes to their mind is speaking in tongues. If you have deficiency in the place of understanding the real concept of prayers, you cannot pray effectively. You will definitely pray amiss. So what is prayer? What is prayer? I'm not talking down on speaking in tongues, right? But what is prayers? Prayer is a communication, a communion with God. When you sit down and interact with God, just the way you interact with your friend, just the way you interact with your spouse if you're married, that is how prayer should be. And God expects that we approach his throne of grace, that we might obtain mercy. In the place of prayers, there are a lot of things that can happen. So when you misunderstand the concept of prayer, you cannot pray effectively. So one of the reasons why a lot of people are scared to pray, one of the reasons why people don't come to God in the place of prayers is because they do not have the understanding about prayers. Because if you have the understanding about prayers, you will come to God at all times, because it's a point of communion. The second undoing of a man in the place of prayers is the neglect of prayers. So it's either you misunderstand the concept of prayers or you neglect prayers. God desires for us to seek him with sincerity and persistence. Sincerity. When you come before God in the place of prayers, he expects us to be sincere. He expects us to be persistent. Sincerity and persistence are two key factors that helps us to touch God in the place of prayers. And one of the proof to show that we are dependent on God completely is when we come to him in the place of prayers. A man that does not pray does not depend on God. One of the litmus tests, one of the way for us to know that this man is dependent on God is his consistency in the place of prayers. Muzota wuri ubangichi, the gaskiya, the dagewa. So when I come before God as a man, I come with one who wants to seek him sincerely from the depth of my heart. I come as one who wants to persist until I touch this God. So prayer is more of an action word than a lecture word. A man can come and give multiple lectures on prayers, but that man does not know the efficiency of prayers. So the best way to pray is to pray. The best way to learn how to pray is to pray. So we have received a lot of beautiful teachings about prayer, but when will you pray? There are a lot of things that have distracted us as youth. A lot of things. Is it social media? Impatience. Impatience has brought a lot of people to leave the place of prayers. Because you prayed and you did not see an immediate result, you left the place of prayers. And that is not how God expects us. He expects us to be persistent. I know this will come. It might take ages. It might be that there are some things you have been praying for a year. It has not come to pass. When you hold the horn of God's altar consistent in the place of prayers, I tell you, result will come. We have tested, we have seen. We have seen that God answers prayers. God answers prayers. It might not be according to your timing, because the timing of God is different from your timing. Who even told you that you have a time? Who even told you that something should happen based on how you want it? When you are dealing with God, He responds to you based on how He wants it. So when we come to the place of prayers, ba shaka, mun san in mu zo wajen sa, da mu same sa. Ba shaka. So because I am not that fool, I will come before Him at all times, because I know He's my Father. I cannot ask of bread and He gives me stone. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people have left the place of prayers, they have failed to understand that God loves them so much that He wants to give them what they desire. So if you do not understand how much God even loves you, it will become very difficult for you to come to God in the place of prayers. I did a teaching and I spoke about some of the reasons why our prayers are not answered. So why do believers pray amiss? There are certain reasons, or there are many causes to that. Why do you pray? Why do you pray? Let me give an instance. I'm trusting God for a car, for example. In Abada Misali, I'm trusting God for a car. Do you know that God will respond to my prayers based on my motive behind asking? So if I go to God in the place of prayers, what He's looking out for is, why is this man asking me for a car? And if you check most of our prayers, it's a selfish prayers. I need a car. I want to show to this brother that I have a car also. You see, God cannot answer that kind of a prayer. So when you come to God in the place of prayers with a wrong motive, don't expect an answer. Don't expect an answer. When you come to God without, just as I've said, you cannot receive answer. We're going to be praying tonight, because I was telling my leader, I said,